All right, so next up in our 2024 coaching cycle hire grades, we're going to be taking a look at Mike Elko, headed to Texas A&M to replace Jimbo Fisher. Mike Elko, previously the Duke head coach, has some ties to Texas A&M, was the DC there before he took the Duke job, also has been the DC at Notre Dame before. First impressions, a solid hire before we dive into it. I do have a little room for pause here because he was not their first option. They hired Mark Stoops originally, and then that played out to where essentially they hired him. He verbally agreed to the contract, talking about Mike Stoops, which is Mark Stoops, which is the head coach at Kentucky. And essentially he verbally agreed to the job, and then his team beat Louisville, and then he changed his mind. So he was the Texas A&M coach for about, 10-hour span, all right, and got a lot of backlash online. Judging from Stoops and Elko, I think they're going for somebody that kind of can right the ship here. I don't think their goal is to necessarily win a championship right now at A&M, but judging from Elko and Stoops, they're kind of just getting somebody that can kind of keep them level, 7, 8, 9 wins every season, be bowl eligible, and not have any issues. It's kind of what they're looking for, what they were looking for with this hire. So I think Elko is a solid option, and originally, I thought he'd be a solid option as well. But like I said, being the second option, maybe even more than that down the line, gives me a little room for pause. Let's go ahead and dive into it a little bit here. So Elko, like I said, previously was the A&M DC before he was a Duke head coach. Also been the DC at Notre Dame. Also been the DC at Wake Forest. So he's been around the block a little bit. Let's look at his records a little bit here. All right, so as you can see on your screen here, 2 seasons at Duke as the head coach. First season, 9-4, ACC Coach of the Year. This season, 7-5. Now, this year, if they had Riley Leonard, if he wouldn't have got hurt, they're probably a top 25 team, no doubt, I would say. Really started strong this season. And I think, again, this is a good hire. You can see here 9-7 wins. So I think that's kind of what you're getting with Elko. I don't think you're going to win a national championship with him, but you're going to be a top 25 team most likely at the least. You know what I mean? And same thing you would have got with Stoops. That's where I think they were headed with this hire. So let's go ahead and take a look here at the recruiting 2024 recruiting rankings and transfer portal rankings. So as you can see here, they've currently got the 17th ranked recruiting class, 16th ranked transfer portal class. Now they've got some interesting guys here in their recruiting cycle. So there's a couple of them that if they can somehow get these guys, this class will be even better. Got a 5-star, the number 1 athlete out of Timpson, Texas, Terry Bussey. And he can really impact this team. But as of right now, he hasn't signed his letter of intent. He's only verbally committed. I've heard he's got visits scheduled with Georgia and potentially Alabama and LSU as well over the next coming months before it's time, And so let's go ahead and look at their recruits a little bit here. All right, you've got the 10th ranked defensive lineman, Dylan Evans, Blake Ivy, 9th ranked offensive tackle, 11th ranked defensive end, 11th ranked interior offensive lineman, 25th ranked linebacker. You got a lot of 4-stars in here. All right, that should be able to contribute. Number 34 safety. Like I said, the hard commits right here is who you're going to want to look at. All right, so the number 31 national player. All right, so the 6th ranked defensive lineman in the nation, the 1st ranked athlete. Like I said, if you can somehow pull both of these guys in still, you're cooking there. But the problem here is those guys committed when Fisher was the head coach. So will they take their word back? Will they change their mind? Definitely a possibility, and I think they probably will. I think they'll probably go somewhere else. All right, transfer portal-wise, like I said, solid. About 16th, 17th ranked transfer portal class. All right, you got a few guys in here. All right, so safety coming from Vanderbilt, tight end coming from Purdue. Got some receiver help and secondary help as well. So really what I think it's going to come down to as far as next year's success is concerned is who plays quarterback for A&M next year. And that's definitely going to impact this a little bit because as you saw at Duke this year, if you have a quarterback, you're fine. If you got a quarterback, you can play. And that's kind of the case for a lot of teams here. If you have a quarterback, you're going to be a top 25 team and probably even more. Let's go ahead and look at their schedule a little bit next year. Should be able to see it now. All right, so kind of tough. Start off with Notre Dame. That's not easy by any means, but it is winnable. I'm going to probably say that's a loss. I'm going to assume, win. Playing in Florida, that's going to be tough. So I'm going to assume probably 2-2 in this stretch. Should beat Arkansas. Should lose to Missouri. It's 3-3, 4-3, 4-4, 4-5, 5-5. Not looking good. All right, so you're probably getting 6 or 7 wins next year, judging from this. I think they could be South Carolina. Yeah, maybe Florida. So you're probably looking at 6, 7 wins probably next season for Mike Elko. But I think, like I said, this is a solid hire. You could have definitely done worse than Mike Elko for sure. He's established he can win in a Power 5 program with lesser resources than A&M, so that's not bad by any means. Grade-wise, I'm going to give this one, Mike Elko to Texas A&M, a grade of a B-. Would be a little higher, but like I said, the fact that he was not their first option makes me a little skeptical here. But early reactions, I'm going to give this a B-. We'll see how he does. Hopefully he can get the ship righted there. What grade would you give this hire? Let me know. Comment down below. Make sure to like this video and subscribe.